Renato's going to be doing our talk this morning, and I'm going to actually open a passage from the book Happy Life and see what comes from us. And for those of you more familiar with our group, the shirt I'm wearing right now, I'm sort of the model here. So it's going to be, we're going to have a store that's going to have a bunch of spiritually thematic shirts available for the group soon. Stay tuned. With that in mind, let me just open up what we have of message for us today. Surreptitiously, intrigue sneaks its way into your heart, closing the door of your sentiments to serenity. You turn cold and calculating, heartless, and defensive towards others who perhaps do not deserve this reaction from you. Intriguers always find a way to poison you. Knowing your temperament, they subtly infiltrate your defenses, injecting you with toxic information. Fight back against intrigue and educate intriguers so that they will leave you in peace and have peace themselves, thereby changing their mindset and their morals. Actually, that's the first I get, and I've never been in a better point to do this. Okay, let's not embrace intrigue. Thank you very much, Divine Creator, for all the teachings that come to us in so many different ways, at so many different points in time. Thank you for all the help, all the compassion that visits us every day without us noticing. Don't let us be tainted by the challenges we all have to go through. You are the loving Father, Mother God. And every single one of us is your child. And the pathway is there, waiting for us. But you respect our choices, our effort, and our will. Please enlighten every single one of us so we may choose light, then shadow. And with that in mind, we humbly ask permission to open our Sunday spiritual meeting this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anicio. Well, as we got a good introduction from Anicio, we also want to say that for me this topic excites me really, because the grandeur of the creation of of God, it's so vast, it's so great. As you can see in this small picture here, just a small portion on the screen that was taken from the James Webb telescope. And this topic is, my kingdom is not of this world. But what does that mean? My kingdom is not from this planet. So that means he has come to us from a totally different place than we're expecting really to find here on earth. And then I'm going to read to you the introduction. And it says, Pilate entered his headquarters again and called Jesus and said to him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus answered, "My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, my servants would have been fighting that I might not be delivered over the Jews. But my kingdom is not from the world." Then Pilate said to him, "So you are a king?" And Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king. For this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I have come to the world, to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice." So he's really clearly stating and answering Pilate. Because on that time, they were trying to get Jesus to, they were trying to find something on Jesus so they can punish him. But he never gave him any motivation for them to find something to accuse him or something against their law at that time. And the Jews on that time, they were not really aware of what they had on their hands. When Jesus came, he came as a baby, and no one that I know of has a fear from from a baby, which is amazing. But the thing is, once Jesus grew up and started gathering with the teachers of the law and all the people that he taught, they start finding on him something very special, something out of this world. How can a child or an adolescent boy can start teaching masters of the law? How is that possible? Jesus, he's made this choice to come to here to find out exactly what it feels like to be in a human body, to suffer what we all suffered, to encounter people that they're against him, to encounter people that they were sick, people that they needed consolation, people they need a situation without judgment. I will repeat again what Jesus came to this earth for. He came first to love. He came to teach, but he also came to serve. And that is the pattern that he's teaching us. He said, "Come and follow me," meaning do those things that I've been teaching you to do. And I'll read this to you about future life. We all know now, we have a sense of understanding of what's awaiting for us from here, from this point. We all know, we all have the sense of a future life, that the life continues. But we don't know exactly, or most people, they don't know exactly what is there for us after we leave this physical aspect where our spirit is inside of. And it says the future life in principle is a law of nature, and no one can escape from that. So it's a law. So that means everybody's going to have to be passing through the same experiences. But going back a little bit, the Jews only had a quite uncertain ideas concerning future life. So they didn't know what it was all about. But they have some kind of ideas. So they believe in angels, whom they regarded as a privileged beings of creation. But they did not know that humans could one day become angels and share their happiness. And what I gather from this is that they start talking about a superiority type of beings that they call them angels. But what really are angels? Angels are messengers from God. Their superiority is in knowledge, and also the purity of their souls is totally supreme. But it's funny that they had a sense, and we all have a sense of something that is better and waiting for us to our next step of our lives. And talking about Jesus, look what Jesus came to do to us. He said, Jesus came to reveal to us that there is another world where the justice of God is going on. It is this world which he promises to those who keep God's commandments, and where the good will find their reward. Such a world is his kingdom, where he is in all his glory, and to where he has returned after leaving earth. And there's something very interesting for everybody to know. When they crucified Jesus and he died, apparently, he came and taught us that there was something after that, because a resurrection took place on him. And that's the clear example to every single one in this planet, that there is life after what we call death. That means we are created eternal. Our spirits, at least, are eternal. And whatever we gather in this as intelligence, as a faith, as a nice feeling towards others, by helping them with love, with charity, and if we improve ourselves intellectually, morally, and spiritually, we're going to be following his steps. And we'll take that with us. That's the only thing we take. Because if anybody in this world is thinking that if we have a lot of possessions, money, servants, kingdoms, that when we pass to the spiritual life, we might be thinking that we're taking all that with us, so I want to be very powerful after I die. Well, that doesn't work that well. Whatever Jesus took after he resurrected was the experience to be on the flesh. And every day, he healed us. He make us comfortable. But every day, we lead him to the cross again. So we're not understanding his precepts that he's teaching us. We're not following his examples. Again, Jesus told us that his kingdom is not here below. For one must suffer to reach heaven, and the steps of a throne do not bring us nearer. So no matter what kind of kingdom do you claim to have here on earth, the steps to go to that throne is not going to get us closer to him at all. So it's just a fantasy that people, they say, well, this person is very, very successful because he's got possessions, he's got power, he's got money, but that does not include in Jesus' teachings, because we won't be able to reach heaven, as it said, if we do not follow the law. Now there's something interesting here. It says, it is the most painful paths of life that lead to it, that lead to the success in heaven. Therefore, seek the road through brambles and thorns, but not among the flowers. Isn't that powerful? But what exactly does that mean? Does that mean I have to be a hobo, or that means I have to live on the streets? I have to live without house? No, on the contrary. The brambles and thorns, they will come into us, definitely. But here we are to prepare ourselves to conquer all those trials. But for what reason that is getting close to us? Because we need that to learn from our mistakes, to learn from those trials, and to make us stronger. Because by the time we go to the spiritual world, we already have the tools and intelligence to conquer whatever comes to us, because we have already the experience. People have a tendency to say that all people, they're wiser because they have experience. Well, let's continue having experiences here without complaining. Oh, my big toe has got a torn nail. So we complain about so many silly things. But without seeing this, without learning and understanding this, it may hold us back in our path of success, or to become successful. And this is another picture that amazes me. Could you imagine that we leave this planet Earth, and the scriptures tell us that Jesus tells us, my Father has so many houses for you. But look at this. This is still information. It's very far away, yes. But can we get to that? Yes, it is available to us. But first, what do we have to do? We have to practice the good. We have to obey the laws, God's laws. We have to do and practice loving one another, loving our enemies, and simply just be a good person without any judgments to others, and also getting interested into the whole picture of people's problem. Because if I'm criticizing somebody the way it's acting, it might be a family problem, it might be a sickness, it might be trouble at work, it might be You can name anything. But if that person can understand the whole picture, not just that particular dot in that situation, then we can see things differently. Same thing happens. If we want to find happiness in this small world that we live, called Earth, let's take a look at this one. Can you imagine how big the Earth could be if we put it, let's say, right here? It will be probably unnoticeable, perhaps, because of the dimension of the creation of God. So we need to clearly understand that the knowledge and the privileges we find today's in today's technology, it's so great to make us understand more and more the greatness of the God that we have. The greatness of Jesus, that everything he came to do here, it was to let us know that we can be capable to do whatever he's done. But whatever he did in this world is not the only thing he does. He said, I am the light of the world. But I would say, I am the light of the universe. He says, my kingdom is not of this world. My kingdom is like my Father, the whole universe. Not only just one planet. It's amazing for me that more and more the technology is encountering and showing us more beautiful things that they're waiting for us. And I want to finish this talk talking to you about that the best perfection we can acquire in this world or any other world, the perfection that we can find is called happiness. That is perfection. The day you feel completely happiness, that means exactly that you're becoming perfect. The high spirits that we know, the very evolved spirits, they live in a situation of perfect happiness. And that's what we would like to do. Unfortunately, here on this earth, we're still not capable to admit that. Why? Because we're still fighting one another. There are still wars going on. There are still governments or people that they think they have power over a nation or over nations, and they want to continue holding that power forever. They will not put in their minds the fact that one day they may lose that power. That may make them afraid of that situation. But it is interesting for me to start understanding these things, that it makes me think that what would happen just on this planet, what would happen if everybody start practicing the good, following all the commandments, helping one another, loving one another, understanding one another? Money it will have no worth anymore. Possessions, they will have no worth anymore. How would the people would live? They would live in perfect happiness. Why? Because there will be no more worries. We will be living in a planet that will not worry about anymore about wars, or any other things that they make us uncomfortable. What happens if one nation start building up nuclear weapons? The other one will make something that was going to be more bigger in order to counteract that other nation. So it's just a fight. People keep fighting and fighting one another. No one wants to know smaller or powerless than the other. So my understanding is now that, and it is my prayer, that we continue living in peace. Because that was taught to us a long time ago, over 2,000 years ago. Because every time when Jesus encountered someone, he said, "Peace be with you." He said, "My peace I leave you." And that is happiness. When I feel myself at peace, it's just a feeling that everything is glowing around me. I don't need to look anything else around me to feel the best of me. And that, my friends, is something that I like to share with everybody that I come in contact with. Share that glowing of peace to them. Because out there's so many people they need to feel and hear and to be heard of something that will make them feel more comfortable. So the kingdom of His is not of this world, but also we are not from this world. We were not created here. We came from the spiritual world where we were before. We just came to take a body, to learn, to experience what Jesus Christ experienced when He was in the flesh. And the best of His teachings is the one that tells us, let's get together and be happy. Be perfect in happiness. And I share these things, my friends, in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.